Hello all. It is Navneet Krishnan from IIT's GATE classes, Bangalore. In this section, we are going to discuss GATE 2020 solutions, aerospace engineering for aircraft performance. First, question number 4. Which of the following statements is true about the effect of increase in temperature on dynamic viscosity of water and air at room temperature? Option A, it increases for both water and air. Option B, it increases for water and decreases for air. Option C, it decreases for water and increases for air. Option D, it decreases for both water and air. We all know that dynamic viscosity depends upon coercive force and molecular momentum transfer. In liquids, example water, coercive force predominates molecular momentum transfer due to closely packed molecules. As temperature increases, coercive force decreases, thereby dynamic viscosity decreases. For gases such as air, molecular momentum transfer predominates coercive force. As temperature increases, molecular momentum transfer increases due to increase in kinetic energy of molecules, thereby dynamic viscosity increases. So, option C is the correct answer. That is, as temperature increases, dynamic viscosity decreases for water and increases for air. If we have to calculate dynamic viscosity for water at certain temperature, we can use this relation mu equal to mu naught into 1 divided by 1 plus alpha t plus beta t square, where mu naught equal to 1.79 into 10 power minus 3 poise at 0 degree Celsius and alpha equal to 0.03368 and beta equal to 0.000221. Alpha and beta are constants. Thereby we will obtain mu in poise because mu naught is given in poise. So mu also will be obtained in poise. 10 poise equal to 1 Newton per second, 1 Newton second per meter square or 1 kilogram per meter second. For air, we can use this relation mu equal to mu naught plus alpha t minus beta t square. Mu naught at 0 degree Celsius is equal to 0.000017 poise and alpha equal to 0.00000056 and beta equal to 0.1189 into 10 power minus 9. So using this relation, at any temperature we can calculate dynamic viscosity for water and air or liquids and gases. Next, question number 25. An airplane of mass 5000 kg is flying at a constant speed of 360 km per hour at bottom of vertical circle with a radius of 400 meter as shown in the figure. Assuming that the acceleration due to gravity is 9.8 meter per second square, the load factor experienced at the center of gravity of the airplane is dash. Round off to 2 decimal places. What are the given data? Mass equal to 5000 kg, velocity equal to 360 km per hour. So when we convert velocity in terms of meter per second, it is kilometer equal to 1000 meter, 1 hour equal to 3600 seconds. So that is equal to 100 meter per second. Okay, R is given as 400 meter. From this, we can see that the airplane is going in a pull-up maneuver. Radius of turn for a pull-up maneuver is given by R equal to V square by G into N minus 1. Since R values and V values is given, Using these values, we can find out that n is equal to 3.55. So the load factor experienced at the center of gravity of the airplane is 3.55. Next, a single engine propeller driven general aviation airplane is flying in cruise at sea level condition. Density of air at sea level is 1.225 kg per meter cube. With the speed to cover maximum range, for drag coefficient CD equal to 0.025 plus 0.049 CL square and wing loading W by S equal to 9844 Newton per meter square, the speed of the airplane is dash meter per second. Round off to 1 decimal places. The given data are density equal to 1.225, density at sea level equal to 1.225 kilogram per meter cube. Drag polar equation CD equal to 0.025 plus 0.049 CL square. Wing loading W by, that is W by S equal to 9844 Newton per meter square. Range for a propeller driven airplane is given by, required range equation for propeller driven airplane is given by R equal to neta P by SFC. SFC is specific fuel consumption into CL by CD into ln of W0 by W1. For range to be maximum, CL by CD should be maximum. CL by CD should maximum corresponds to drag minimum condition. The minimum drag condition is nothing but CD0 equal to CDI. From the drag polar equation, CD0 is nothing but 0.025. CDI is nothing but 0.049 CL square. When we equate CD0 equal to CDI, we get CL equal to 0.714. Since CD0 equal to CDI, then CD can be obtained as 2 CD0. That is equal to 2 into 0.025. That is equal to 0.05. Now we have to calculate, what we have to calculate? We have to calculate the speed of the airplane for maximum range. So speed of the airplane can be calculated by using this relation. V equal to root of 2W by rho S CL. Since we know all the data, that is W by S is given as 9844 Newton per meter square, and CL is given, CL is we obtained, that is equal to 0.714, and rho for sea level is given 1.225 kilogram per meter cube. When you substitute all these values, we get speed of the airplane for maximum range for a propeller driven airplane equal to 150 meter per second. Next, an airplane of mass 4000 kg and wing reference area 25 meter square flying at sea level has a maximum lift coefficient of 1.65, assuming density of air as 1.225 kilogram per meter cube and acceleration due to gravity as 9.8 meter per second square. Using a factor of safety of 1.25 to account for additional unsteady lift due to sudden pull-up, the speed at which the airplane reaches a load factor of 3.2 is dash meter per second. Round off to 2 decimal places. What are the given data? Mass equal to 4000 kg, wing reference area, that is S equal to 25 meter square, CL max is given, that is equal to 1.65, density at sea level is 1.225 kilogram per meter cube, acceleration due to gravity at sea level is 9.8 meter per second square. Factor of safety is also given, that is equal to 1.25, and load factor is given, N equal to 3.2. Load factor is nothing but L by W. From that we can obtain lift equal to N into W. Lift can be calculated by half rho V square SCL. N can be written as it is and multiplied by weight. So if you have to calculate what is the unsteady lift, then we have to calculate unsteady velocity. Then we will be using unsteady load factor. Okay. Factor of safety is given by N steady lift, load factor for steady lift divided by load factor for unsteady lift. Substituting 3 in 2, we get, that is, if I substitute 3 in 2, what happens? My equation becomes as half rho v square for unsteady into SCL, that is equal to, for N unsteady will be using in terms of steady. So what happens? It becomes N steady divided by factor of safety into weight. So from this we can calculate V unsteady by taking all the other terms on the other side. So V unsteady is equal to V unsteady is equal to root of 2NW by rho SCL into factor of safety. Okay. Factor of safety is given as 1.25 and CL is given as 1.65 and rho is 1.225 kilogram per meter cube and wing area is 25. Then load factor is 3.2. Weight is given here in mass, that is equal to 4000 kg, but here we have to substitute in Newton. So multiply mass into acceleration in order to convert into Newton. So 4000 into 9.8, if we multiply, then we'll get weight in Newton. Substituting all this, we get velocity for unsteady lift is equal to 63.02 meter per second. So what is the question asked? Using a factor of safety of 1.2 to account for additional unsteady lift due to sudden pull up, the speed at which the airplane reaches a load factor of 3.2 is. So the speed at which the load factor reaches 3.2 is 63.02 meter per second. Next, this is the last question. A petard tube mounted on a wingtip of an airplane flying at an altitude of 3 km measures the pressure of 0.72 bar and outside air temperature is 268.66 Kelvin. Take the sea level condition as pressure equal to 1.01 bar, temperature equal to 288.16 Kelvin and density equal to 1.225 kilogram per meter cube. The acceleration due to gravity is 9.8 meter per second square and gas constant is 287 joule per kilogram Kelvin. Assuming the standard atmosphere, the equivalent speed of this airplane is dash meter per second. Round off to 2 decimal places. Sea level values for this airplane is given as pressure equal to 1.01 bar, temperature equal to 288.16 Kelvin, density equal to 1.225 kilogram per meter cube, G equal to 9.8 meter per second square, unit gas constant equal to 287 joule per kilogram Kelvin. At 3 kilometer altitude, pressure is given 0.72 bar. The pressure measured from the petard tube. Petard tube measures total pressure. Petard static tube measures dynamic pressure. So here petard tube measures total pressure. So P naught is given for 3 kilometer altitude. That is P naught equal to 0.72 bar. Outside temperature at 3 kilometer altitude is given 268.6 Kelvin. Since 3 kilometer altitude lies in troposphere region, that is 0 to 11 kilometer altitude refers to troposphere. So here 3 kilometer refers to region in troposphere. A is nothing but here it is called as lapse rate. Lapse rate is defined as rate of change of temperature with respect to altitude. For troposphere, the lapse rate value is minus 6.5 Kelvin per kilometer. That is equal to minus 6.5 into 10 power minus 3 Kelvin per meter. From this, since here temperature already it is given for 3 kilometers, if it is not given, how to calculate this? Using this lapse rate relation. That is dt by dh. dt is nothing but temperature at 3 kilometer altitude minus temperature at sea level divided by altitude at 3 kilometer altitude minus altitude at sea level. Sea level altitude is 0. So that is equal to minus 6.5 Kelvin per kilometer. So from this we can calculate, since temperature at sea level is known, altitude h is also given. So temperature at 3 kilometer altitude can be calculated as 268.66 Kelvin. Pressure and temperature relation for troposphere region is given as P by P infinity, that is P by P sea level, that is equal to T by T sea level power minus G by AR. Here sea level pressure is given, sea level temperature is also given, temperature at 3 kilometer altitude is also given, acceleration due to gravity is 9.8, lapse rate is nothing but minus 6.5 into 10 power minus 3 Kelvin per meter, R is 287. When we substitute all these values, we get pressure equal to 0.698 bar. 1 R is equal to 10 power 5 Newton per meter square. Now pressure is obtained. Total pressure at sea at 3 kilometers is also known. Pressure at 3 kilometers is also known. Static pressure at 3 kilometers is also known. So using this relation, P naught total pressure equal to static pressure plus dynamic pressure. This relation can be only used for incompressible flow, that is Mach less than 0.3. So from this we can obtain V equal to root of P naught, root of 2 into P naught minus P by rho. Since that is the P naught is equal to 0.72 bar and P equal to 0.698 bar and rho equal to 1.225, 1 bar equal to 10 power 5 Newton per meter square. So substituting all this, we get velocity equal to 59.93 meter per second. So how will you calculate whether it is an incompressible flow or compressible flow? So for that we have to calculate Mach number. Mach number is nothing but velocity by speed of sound. Velocity of the airplane by speed of sound. Velocity of the airplane is nothing but 59.93 divided by root of gamma r t. Gamma for air is nothing but 1.4. R for air is 287 joule per kilogram Kelvin. Temperature is nothing but at 3 kilometers 268.66 Kelvin. 268.66 Kelvin root. So we'll be obtaining as 59.93 divided by 340. That is equal to 1.726. So sorry, 0.176. 0.176. So we'll be obtaining Mach number equal to 0.176. 0.176 is less than Mach 0.3. So this relation is valid in order to find out velocity. With this, we'll wind up this section. Thank you.